What's going on there, folks? Good evening, Earthmaster here on the live stream on this first day of August 2021, about 7:06 p.m. West Coast time. A 2.7 earthquake out here. It looks like around eastern Oklahoma, the latest quake on the globe. Of course, prior to that, we had a moderate-sized 5.5 down here in the Kermadec Trench area, New Zealand region. A little bit of movement over the last 24 hours or so. Taking place out here on the map. Of course, you can see that, 5.6 there in the Kermadec Islands, New Zealand region. Pretty shallow earthquake for this area, 10 kilometers below the surface. But we also seen some further deep movement, this 5.0, into the Hikurangi subduction zone at 171 kilometers below the surface. So kind of watching this area. This is another subduction zone that can create some pretty significant sized earthquakes. Up here around Fiji, some further deep movement, 4.2 at 545, and of course this 4.6 at pretty shallow, about 4 kilometers. As we work our way up north into parts of the western Pacific Ring of Fire, looking, still looking somewhat quiet, folks, along the Japan Trench. I did have a 4.3, pretty deep earthquake here in the Japan region, and also a little bit further south, another significant deep movement down there, 233 kilometers for a 4.5 near Guam. The Aleutian Trench still seeing some earthquake activity following the large megaquake a couple days ago. Looks like activity, though, kind of migrating to the north a little bit with some microquakes. Overall, activity appears to be diminishing as far as the earthquake multitude there in the aftershocks. Pacific Northwest, though, increasing in seismic activity up here to the north, well north of Seattle, around Mount Vernon, actually east of Mount Vernon. Seeing some microquakes pop up around the mountains there. Some deeper movement as well. South, a little bit closer to Seattle, 24 kilometers, or what do we got there? 21 kilometers for this little 1.7. That's below the surface, 21.5 kilometers below the surface. Some further movement around the Seattle fault as well. So a little bit of uptick and some pretty deep movement around the Seattle area. Mount Rainier and Mount St. Helens getting in on some of the microquakes today. We'll take a look at the seismographs there in a little bit. Some further movement off the coast of California. Got this little quake right here, 1.6, and then of course way off here into the Blanco fracture zone. Had a 4.2 a couple hours ago, a few hours ago. Let's see here along the San Andreas Fault into the Hayward Fault area. A little bit of movement up here to the north. Pretty quiet, though. Mostly microquake activity. Nothing really to speak of when it comes to significant quakes there in the Bay Area. Also movement up around the Antelope Valley areas. Pretty quiet as well. Just some microquakes, looking like about 20 or so in that region. What do we got? Long Valley supervolcano, some microquakes there as well. Just a scattered small amount of quakes throughout the region, including Ridgecrest as well. Southern California looking pretty quiet for right now. Just a couple small microquakes there as well. Yellowstone, don't see a whole lot going on into the Yellowstone area. Checking the seismographs, we don't see too much activity either. Not a whole lot to report on the seismograph stations there for Yellowstone. Pretty quiet. South, there's that 2.7 in Quinton, Oklahoma. Been watching a little bit of movement there over the past couple months here. Texas area, 2.8 around Pecos, Texas. Once again, things kind of calming down there compared to yesterday. Puerto Rico Trench, seeing a little bit of movement down here around Puerto Rico. A little bit of deeper movement towards the Puerto Rico Trench here. 3.6 at 24 kilometers. South America, pretty, let's see, what do we got there? A couple fours. Some further deep movement, dip downstream here of the Peru-Chile Trench. And well, just yeah, pretty. Check out over here though. It's really been active over towards. Aside from this area up here, kind of covered that last night with the update video, but still seeing some movement southwest of Iceland. A little bit of heightened activity over here in the Sea of Crete. Looks like the 5.7, the largest so far. Quite a few aftershocks there in that sequence, and some movement further north as well into this area up here. What do we got? 3.3. Some of this, I'm surprised that 3.3 showing up on this map. Kind of interesting there. Romania getting some movement. A little 4 up here, and Croatia a little 4-pointer as well. Let's see. Let's check out the tremor map here real quick along the Pacific Northwest. A little bit of further movement compared to yesterday. Just only, what do we got here? About 26 epicenters into parts of Oregon, underneath Oregon, I should say, on the Cascadia subduction zone, the slip area. Let's go ahead and check out the volcanic seismicity at Rainier and Mount St. Helens on the seismographs. You can see the red circles there indicating the earthquake activity over the last 24 hours. See if we can get this. Kind of slow, not for sure why. Oh, there we go. Alrighty, so yeah, a little bit of movement, localized activity, some smaller microquakes as well. Definitely showing up. Nothing, I wouldn't say anything significant at all occurring there at Mount Rainier. Mount St. Helens is back out over here. St. Helens, there's some more quakes there in the red. Looking at a seismograph, see if I can get this 3 component to pop up. Let's see here. Wow, see, this one's pretty squashed, but definitely a localized quake taking place there at Mount St. Helens. This one in the red, well defined. Looking at this other data here, a couple small other quakes, but nothing too big, nothing happening. For the most part, just a couple small, standard, everyday quakes. Let's see. I think that's about it, folks. Not a whole lot going on here over the last, at least over today. We'll see where the night and tomorrow takes us. Solar weather, I believe, is pretty much the same. If anything, it looks like it's been diminished. There was a little bit of forecast on a little bit higher scale than what we're seeing here, but everything's pretty flatlined and pretty mellow. Less than a 1% chance of all flares. So the sun is not active at the moment. Looking very quiet. A couple coronal holes up here to the north. Maybe some will be facing towards the earth, but these are very minimal. We'll see. Man, just sun. Hopefully the sun still stays alive and kicking. I'm really surprised we haven't seen further sunspots amping up here. It seems like it goes through the little phases, but as soon as it turns towards the earth, they all dissipate as far as the sunspots go. All right, folks, I'm going to jump off here. Have a good night. Stay safe, everyone, and we will chat you guys another time. Yeah, have a good night. Peace out.